Previously on Chat 62.
Yeah, I had this staff sergeant, and he did get me fired from my publications job. He'd ask me, he goes, "What are you working on?" And I'm reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so I've understood, begin with the end in mind. Technicians don't come in asking for something by a 13-digit publication control number. They say, "I'm working on this Angra 39. I've got this Singar's radio." So I created an alphabetized list. Staff sergeant's pissed off. Says I'm wasting my time. I'm not focused on the mission. I'm like, you asked me what my job was. I'm telling you, my job is to make it easier for the people to find their equipment. Well, you can't use that in an audit. I'm like, fine, I put it in my drawer. What does it matter? I said, I've created this system that makes it easier. So he got me fired from that position, and he had me non-rec for about 6 months. It gets to the point where I'm going in to sign my non-rec for NCO. I'm like, "Sir, I haven't seen this guy for 6 months. How is he still non-recking me?" He goes, "I don't know, son, just sign the paper."
Real quick before we start, we streamlined our contact info. From now on, if you have any questions, feedback, or ideas for future guests, just shoot us an email at chat62podcast@gmail.com. That's chat62podcast@gmail.com. All right, let's go.
There were some frustrating experiences there. I learned how lonely I was when my car broke down and I wasn't able to go see my girlfriend. And I was asking people that owed me more money than their vehicles were worth if I could borrow their car, and they wouldn't let me. And so it's like they just used me to get down to TJ and to go to, gosh, what was the name of that? In Irvine.
The Spectrum?
Yeah, it was over at the Spectrum. I can't think of it.
It was a club, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. Well, taking people to that club as well. Yeah, so I didn't really have too many friends, honestly.
I know, like, communicating with different groups of people was a little bit harder back then in the 90s.
Yes, it was.
But there wasn't like a way for you, maybe they're like the chaplain, to communicate with any other like-minded people.
No, I was a chaplain's assistant too. I'd help him set up stuff in the field and everything.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I enjoyed the time, but overstepped my bounds.
Oh.
We had, not with the chaplain I was working with, but I was really pissed. We were in the field and there was a sermon and I chewed the chaplain out. I'm like, "Yeah, that was a nice service, but you left out Jesus." And so then I'm being called in front of that same staff NCO. And I can't remember what he was telling me to. Oh, he was saying I'm not allowed to talk about God. I said, "Last time I checked, it was God Country Corps." So I was constantly butting heads with this staff sergeant. And he was telling me I had to stop my calling card business. And I didn't know if that was really within his responsibility or authority to direct me to do something like that when I'm doing it after hours. And he's like, "Have you?"
It wasn't interfering with your
Like,
responsibilities.
"Have you, since I told you not to, spoken to anybody on or after hours?" I looked him straight in the face. I said, "Yes, Staff Sergeant, I have." So, yeah, we didn't get along very well.
How long did you have to deal with him?
Probably about 6 months, I think. So he finally had me fired and sent back over to the radio shop.
What was your time like back at the radio shop?
You know, I had people asking the stupidest questions. If Jesus wanted to screw your wife, would you let him? I mean,
I thought you were going to go the route of, they were asking something stupid about work equipment. I didn't think they were going to go there.
no.
But you said that they did mock you for who you are.
They mocked the religion and the fact that I didn't drink. Yeah, so I had a bunch of jerks in my platoon. And when I go to other platoons, I got along great with people. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
My roommate was cool. He hated everybody. And I remember when he left, he told me where he hid the key for his movies. I mean, that was a huge thing. He was hiding the key from other people. He shared with me where it was so I could watch movies.
He had that trust in you.
People were total sponges. They would seriously come to our list, to come to our room with a laundry list on field day of all the stuff they needed. I need some paper towels, some Windex, and some. It's like, this ain't the PX.
Right?
Get out of here. But most of these people would blow their entire paycheck on Saturday night. It was a miracle they'd have $5 for a haircut. And so, crazy times.
So you did not deploy after all, right?
I did not.
Okay.
I looked at it, I guess, kind of strategically. And I said, if I don't learn to face my fears now, then I'm going to have to keep dealing with that in the future. And so I stuck it out, and then I got promoted where I was at.
How long before your enlistment ended?
I know it was in 98. I don't remember the exact month. I got out in August.
It was that same year that you got out.
It was the same year.
Okay.
And here's this officer that has at least extended an olive branch to me and given me the opportunity to get promoted. And I'm finally able to get a hold of my uncle, and he's the one that actually comes and pins me. And so that was incredible. But as I'm walking, you stop, you salute. My uncle's the first one there. So I salute my uncle, and I didn't salute Arcamo. And he was pissed. It's like, I just got you promoted, and this is how you treat me? I'm like, sir, uncle's higher ranking. I didn't know what the protocol was. I've never seen anything like that. I don't know. Was I supposed to, shake his hand and then come back over, salute, and then shake the other guy's hand? I don't know. Never seen anything like that, even now.
So let's go ahead and let's touch base on your uncle really quick. Okay, yeah. So to circle back to that. So you mentioned, that you report to Camp Pendleton, first duty station.
Yes.
He's stationed in the area too, right?
Yes.
Okay, in Camp Pendleton, or like in like close to proximity, like 5th Marines?
He's on main side.
Okay, he's on main side. Okay, so you guys are on the same camp or the same base. You say you reach out to him. So what happened?
Yeah, he was either in Oceanside or Temecula. I can't remember which one.
Okay.
I can't remember if he wouldn't call me back, or I think my mom said he was worried about fraternization.
Okay.
I was like, he's a lieutenant colonel in the air wing. I'm nowhere near the air wing. So he's kind of a weird guy. We surprised my mom with a trip to Disneyland for her 70th birthday. My brother, my sister, my wife, my kids, and we met up with my uncle. Mm-hmm. And we had a good time with him during that day, and then poof, he hasn't talked to my mom for most of the year. This was back in March. It's like he just gets carried away with his own thing and doesn't bother with any of the extended family, I guess you'd say.
Some people are like that. I'm kind of notorious for doing that too. So I can't, yeah.
I can't remember how my mom found out, but he actually had a pretty hard time in the Corps himself. His co-pilot got shot through the neck. So he flew rescue missions in Desert Storm. He had shown pictures of an explosion that had gone off. You guys are playing spades, and it split right between them on the cot.
Wow!
But he actually lost some people over there as well.
So there's some lingering issues there that kind of may account for his behaviors. Yeah,
I think so.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay, so you pick up Corporal, and what was it like trying to reach out to him to say, hey, can you pin these chevrons on me? Was it difficult trying to get a hold of him, or was he keen on the idea? Or
I really can't remember. I don't remember if I talked to him or if my mom got a hold of him. I can't remember that. I just know I was excited that he actually showed up. That's pretty shocking. The highest in your chain of command is a captain, and you're just a lieutenant colonel.
He's like, okay.
Yeah.
So did you spend your whole time stationed in 5th Marines?
I did.
Okay. Was there anything else that stood out during your time at the 62 area?
No, I think that was I was telling you about the gunny. So the gunny Eshte, who told me to go to college, and I talked about how I was doing the embarkation, and he called me in, and I got promoted from that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so focusing on college and looking ahead, I really wish that I'd had him longer. He wasn't in my platoon for even a year, as I recall. So from as I'm getting out, my impression is the people that re-enlist are the ones that couldn't hold a job at McDonald's. And we have this one guy that's a perfect example. I don't know what his name was. He came to us from the gym. We called him Barney, as in Barney Rubble. And this guy, do you know who I'm talking about?
I remember there was a guy in comm. He was Hawaiian. What was his name?
Were you thinking of Paikuli?
Yeah. Okay, it's not him then. Okay, because The only reason why, when you said Barney, I remember there was Staff Sergeant Robertson over in the headquarters company side. He would call him, and pardon my language, motherfucker, you like motherfucking Fred Flintstone on the motherfucking nose. And that's why when you said Barney, I thought of the nose and I thought of Paikuli. All right, never mind.
Oh, man.
Never mind. Okay.
Well, you learned some interesting things about the people you served with after the fact. I helped this couple get a car because he came to us as a PFC, I think it was. Married his high school sweetheart. No,
okay,
this is...
Okay. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember him. He was special.
Yes. Do you know how special? This kind of ties in. So I'm trying to help him and his wife, and I agreed to loan them the money to buy a car because they've got a 2-year-old, I think it is. And she's talking about how hard it is to catch the buses and the delay in time and just how difficult it is to do grocery shopping. And so I really feel sorry for them. So I tell them I'm going to give them money to buy a car, but I'm going to have to choose the car. So we're not getting like a Mustang here or something. And that they're going to pay me back from their income taxes.
Okay.
And they say, okay, that's great. No problem. So the wife gets the money, uses it, goes back to Chicago, gets a divorce attorney. Possession's 9/10 of the law. He's got the car, so therefore she's not liable for giving me the money that was agreed to. It's like unreal. So at that point has $20 to his name. His wife strips everything else by going to the company office. And so this guy's an indentured servant and has $20 so that he can get a haircut. And so that's what forced him into a life of crime. So yeah, really sad situation with that guy.
Yeah, I remember him. He was special. He was one of Staff Sergeant Robertson's favorite. Oh, I'm gonna have fun editing this episode. Interesting fact. This just I just want to just go off the rails a little bit. My brother-in-law, he worked for the Toast Platoon.
Yeah.
My future brother-in-law. I had no clue until I met him.
Okay.
Yeah, his name was Albert Rodriguez. He worked for Toes up until he disbanded Toes.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, it's just, I guess to go back, I guess it's just a small world.
Yeah, it is. That's
Here I
crazy.
am, freaking, I haven't talked to you in forever. And I had a feeling too. I'm like, I got a feeling it's the same Kevin Osborne.
That is so crazy.
Crazy, dude. That is fucking nuts. What was your final year like in the Corps?
Yeah, I was definitely looking towards the horizon, trying to see what the future could be. But like I said, I wish Gunny Este, I'd spent more time with him and that he'd been able to mentor me more.
You could have picked his brain and just...
Distantly. Oh my goodness, I could have learned so much from him. I knew, oh gosh, what was his name? So, you know what? There's another story.
Go ahead.
Told you I was entrepreneurial.
Hey, freaking go for it, man. Go for it.
So
Floor's
I'm
yours.
reading in the newspaper that if you open a new account at this bank, they'll give you $50 after 90 days. So I'm thinking, how many accounts do I want to open? And I want to say I opened 9. So the reason I got about this is I was thinking about Blue to Gold. We had this guy, and I think he might have been with 2-4. He was a really short guy, and he went in to do snipers. And I think he left the Marine Corps and went Green Beret. Yeah, he was hardcore. He could get closer than anybody else.
Wow.
And they'd have distances that you were supposed to get. So he was in the trunk. I had bodies stacked across the floorboard. And so I took all these people out to town because a lot of them owed me money. And I told them I'd pay them each $10 for their time, which was about an hour. And then I gave each of them $300 to open up these bank accounts. And I said, this is not your money. You are not to make withdrawals. And I will take you back out there to withdraw the money. And once it's complete, I'll pay you guys each your $10. So I remember trying to go through the gate and having all these bodies stacked, and the people in the front and the back seat and the guy in the trunk. I'm like, oh, please don't pull me over.
You'd have been paid for a trafficker.
Oh man, yeah. And we opened up, what was it, like Downey Bank or something like that?
Mhm.
So my mind just has always worked different.
So how was that venture? Was it successful? Did he get a
Store.
mission
worked.
accomplished?
Yeah. And I made a tremendous return on $300 investment
Wow.
as a percentage. I mean, $50. Shoot, that's huge.
Yeah, definitely, man. Was there anything else during that last year in the Corps that stood out?
Well, yes. Went with my girlfriend to the Marine Corps Ball down in San Diego. And we had a pretty uneventful night.
It was 97, right?
I think it was, yeah. Had a good time. I come back and my girlfriend goes home. I'm woken up in the morning on Saturday. I can't remember his name, but it was roommate is knocking on my door, begging me for a calling card. I'm like, dude, I don't let people borrow calling cards. They're for purchase. And he's like, no, he needs help. I'm like, what happened? And that's when he tells me that he got jumped down there in San Diego at the Marine Corps Ball.
Oh my God.
And that's when he got the scar. So he got jumped by, I don't know if they were gang members. I can't remember too much of the story. But yeah, he owed me some money. And in exchange, he let me sleep on his couch for a couple months when I first got out of the Corps.
I remember when that happened with, we didn't see him for, I don't remember, it was a few days.
Yeah.
Shit hit the fan at the headquarters company because what I was in Conad and right across the hall was a company office. Yeah, the whole thing was, yeah, I think he was still with an infantry group.
No, he was TOW. It was was it? I'm trying to think his first name.
His first name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the middle was.
And I don't know why I remember that. I just do. I guess because
Yeah.
he's looking at SRBs all freaking day. I don't think he's no longer with us.
What do you mean? Not living?
Yeah. Correct.
Oh, really?
If I remember right. I don't know what made me look him up. I might be wrong. Hopefully I am wrong. But something made me look him up, I don't know, about 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I don't know, just sometimes me and my buddy, Mayor, Jesus Mayor, he worked up in the S2 shop. I think he got there after you got out. Maybe that same year that you were getting out. We started looking at people like Eric Tolfrey.
Sounds kind of familiar.
He was with Recon, and then he ended up in the company office. And yeah, I don't know. I just sometimes I just go down the freaking rabbit hole and I start looking people up on Google. And,
Wow.
and I think is one of those guys that's no longer with us.
Do you know what happened to him?
No.
So I'm on fire watch and Chainsaw's getting kicked out. His girlfriend comes to the barracks and basically it's like, and so I go into the room and I separate them. And I take her downstairs. He's like, what are you going to do? Report me? It's like, that's not going to do anything. So I take her downstairs and she's like, oh, my knight in shining armor. I'm like, just stay away. She went right back up there to him. It's like, it was after 10. I don't want to be responsible for her drunk driving. You know,
Yeah.
you're put in some really hard situations when you're standing fire watch and you find a woman that's drunk. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that's a position I don't envy. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not, man. Was there anything else that stood out during that last year in the Corps?
The last year is when I retook the ASVAB.
That's right.
I took the Defense Language Aptitude Battery Test. Thinking I did some cryptographics.
What was the purpose of taking the ASVAB again?
I wanted to get into computers.
While in the Corps, were you looking at any kind of re-enlistment at that time during your last year? Or you were saying, you know what, 4 years and that's it, I'm out?
I was at it for. My goal was, or my impression is the Marine Corps is a good place, founded on solid fundamentals and principles. The people you work for or with make your experience pleasurable or otherwise. My first 4 years were otherwise.
I understand. All right, so you take the ASVAB.
Yes.
How did that go?
The defense language aptitude battery is insane. It's like learning a new language, and then you have to apply the rules of English, like verbs, pronouns, adjectives, to this new language. And at the time it was a tape. It was a 4-hour test, and there was no going back. And so you're trying to use what they told you at the beginning of this tape were the ways that they were using the endings of adverbs, pronouns, nouns, subjects, predicates, all of that. And then they would say a sentence 3 times, and you were supposed to pick up which was the correct one. Just brutal. I got an 89 on it.
Out of 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you needed, for Arabic or Russian, it was 110.
Oh.
And then I would have gone to school in Monterey for 6 months to be a cryptologist.
Wow.
That would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah.
But so I passed the electronics data processing test, but I'm still not interested in signing a contract with anybody. So I get out, I volunteer in the reserves in Seal Beach, 514. Let me think of when. No, I signed up for pretty quick after I got out. I got out in August. I think September is when I first drilled with them. And I had an amazing gunny in comm. And it's like, and he was an IT guy, but he was the comm chief, just how things were with that unit. And so no one knew that I was a comm guy, and I wasn't going to tell him to go clean up comm gear and more cami nets and stuff. So I wish I had that kind of leadership when I was active duty, because I would have re-enlisted and I would have followed that guy anywhere. And it's like, what a difference who you're working for makes.
I just talked to another Marine on Saturday, so you're my second interview this week. He's a 21-year and some change gunny. And that's the one main theme he talked about during his 21 plus years was the type of leadership that he was dealing with and how that encouraged him to stay. And not all the leadership was great, but for the most part, there was some shitty leadership. Thankfully, that door opened, or that door would close, and then a new door would open, and he would, by the grace of God, came across, great leadership. So that's what has helped shape him into that staff NCO that he was.
Absolutely. I wish I had a longer time horizon, and 4 years wasn't eternity. If I had to do it all over again, I definitely would have been an officer, and I'll get to that in a bit. One of the things you'd asked about was time in uniform that left a lasting impression. I came home on leave. I don't think my mom even knew I was coming home. And they had moved to Bakersfield at this point and were running a Mako auto body painting shop. And I caught her. I'm in my dress blues. And she comes around the corner and she's just got the worst expression. Her eyes are popping out of her face and her jaw's dropped. And I caught a picture. And actually on Facebook right now, I have a picture of my mom and my grandma next to me in my dress blues. So that was definitely a proud moment to be able to surprise them.
I'm going to look for you and add you on if I haven't done it yet. Yeah, that's one of those moments. It's just like, yeah, like you said right here, it's a scene out of a movie, man. You're done with your active duty time.
IRR.
What's it like finally just, leaving Camp Pendleton for the last time, the 5th Marines for the last time?
Just the most freeing feeling imaginable. There was no fear or concern of what tomorrow held. It was just glad to be leaving that place.
So you knew at that point you were going to go into the reserves after you were done with active duty. Okay.
So I volunteered to be a small computer system specialist. So they put me in a 4,000 billet before I'd gone to school and promised me that I would go to school. Now, I had a friend that was a mentor and had helped me along the way. I actually met him through NTC, and he was in a different downline from me, but he was looking for a Marine to lead his 17th century reenactment group. And he's a world-renowned prenatal care physician, doctor, living in South Laguna Beach. So we became really good friends. He was actually a co-best man at my wedding. And so In 95, I led the Marine Corps parade through, I think it was Orange. And it was a 1.5 mile long parade. And that was the weirdest feeling, being in charge and calling cadence for that long of a group. So on my site, I've also got pictures of me in the 17th century Marine Corps attire with the black powder musket and the bayonet. And I've actually loaded and fired the black powder musket. We went down and did that down in San Diego.
What was that like?
That was crazy. It was really a cool experience.
And everyone else was dressed up the same way?
There's only 4 of us.
Oh, there's only 4. Okay, I was expecting a whole platoon.
No.
I was like, wow.
No, this is that Sons of the American Revolution is the organization that he was with. And I wasn't a part of that, but I look damn good in a uniform. So how are you going to say no? So I expect when I get out that I'm just going to be crashing at a friend of his place in Laguna Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm renting a room from her for just dirt cheap. I think it was like $200-300. And I've got a separate entrance. You can just walk down to the beach pretty much down there. It's beautiful. She has to keep her leg elevated because she's type 2 diabetes pretty bad. And so she's in a wheelchair. And so I go up and I talk to her fairly often. I get kicked out of the house.
What?
Dr. Blankenship tells me that a lot of the family members are scared about the maids and butlers and the helpers. They end up inheriting the family's fortune because the kids are estranged. And so he said the kids were afraid that you were going to take their inheritance. I'm like, I had no idea. So I went from that, and then I go up to the executive group and the Lucas group. I don't know if you've heard of these organizations.
No.
They've got to be ran by Marines. Phenomenal structure and organization. It's usually for more senior enlisted or officers. And they'll have you show up on a Thursday night. The companies will sell themselves to you. And then at the end of the presentations, you're given a card with the companies and the hotel rooms and the times that they want to interview you for. You come back the next day and you go to different hotel rooms. And so I had interviewed for Nextel and Fujitsu, and I was the number 1 candidate for both. But I jumped on pre-IPO opportunity, Cars Direct, and I stupidly took that and moved to Culver City.
Thank you for listening. Kevin Osborne's story continues in the next episode of Chat 62. Until then, stay the course and Semper Fi.
This is Eric from the Chat 62 podcast, Marine Corps veteran, and just another guy who's been through some dark nights of the soul. If you're struggling, I want you to know you're not weak. You're not alone. You're not broken. The truth is, a lot of us have been there. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, please just dial 988. It's free, it's confidential, and someone's there to listen 24/7. We need you here. The road's better with you in it. Stay the course.